Hi Hollywood lifers. So last night was the biggest night of the year for fashion, and I'm not talking Oscars. Turns out there's an even bigger night, and that is what I am describing as the Fashion Oscars, and that is the big Costume Institute black tie gala here in New York City at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It is chaired by the editor-in-chief of Vogue, Anna Wintour, and her co-chair this year was Oprah, who actually really flubbed out in the fashion department. I'm not even going to show you her dress. I don't want to embarrass you, Oprah, so I'm not going to show your dress. However, girls from Hollywood flocked to this thing. A lot of them went to the Washington Correspondents' Dinner on the weekend, stayed on the East Coast for this big event. And they don't even bother, most of them, going with their boyfriends or husbands. It's all about just showing off your latest fashion look. And I'm telling you, these girls looked terrific, better than the Oscars. So here we go. Here's the best dressed. J-Lo, looking fantastic in a Zuhair Murad fairy princess ball gown. She really looks good. I mean, she's been pulling out all the stops for her backup plan promo. And then also in fairy princess mode, Anne Hathaway. Now every girl wants to look like a fairy princess, and she did in Valentino. Fantastic. Then Jessica Alba, also looking terrific in a Sophie I think it's pronounced Taya. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. It's French and I can't pronounce it. For Gap. This designer actually works for Gap. How impressive is that? I wonder if you can get that on the Gap website. So Jessica Alba, looking fantastic. Camilla Bell in this beautiful strapless red gown by Jason Wu. That's a young designer that Michelle Obama loves. So congrats, Jason, for making Camilla look so good. And then Blake Lively, who was very brave, she went short and she pulled it off. Now, we're gonna do those who blew it last night. Kristen Stewart had her first fashion catastrophe. Take a look at this. She's never gone wrong before. And here she is in a haute couture Chanel. But what, did Edward take a bite out of the bottom of her skirt? Vampires, stay away from Kristen's dress. Tina Fey, she's also had she has had fashion disasters. Remember she wore the Mary Poppins look? I think it was at the SAG Awards, the Golden Globes. She wore pants, this dull pantsuit. Maggie Gyllenhaal, what were you thinking? You have a tall, gorgeous figure. Why did you cover it up in these gigantic, huge, big funereal ruffles? She looks like she's wearing old-fashioned 1800s widow's weeds. And then, oh my goodness, these are so bad they fell off my chair. Christina Hendricks, you got carried away because you were named the sexiest woman in the world by Esquire. What were you thinking? You look like you've got something molty on your strap, and you look like you're a superhero. You're about to take off into the sky. January Jones, bad day for the women of Mad Men. This was a mad choice. I don't even know how to describe that. And then Chloe Sevigny, you're always a fashion adventuress, but you look like little Lord Fauntleroy, like we're wearing breeches under this very undistinguished dress. Well, I mean, it's lacy, blue lace. I don't know. I don't think blue and lace really naturally go together. Now, the last thing that I want to show, sorry ladies, sorry girlfriends, is the Are They Pregnant? Gwen Stefani looking very suspicious in lamb. Now let's get a close-up shot so you can see. She definitely has got a little pooch. So either she's being like me, because I've got one too, she's got a little food bump under there, she's enjoying life, and that's hurrah, Gwen, good for you to eat because you probably were starving yourself before. Or there's number 3 brewing under there. There's another little Rossdale. And then we've got Kate Hudson, who also wore a suspicious gown. Like if you're trying to get people to not think you're pregnant, why is she wearing this draped gown that looks also a little bit full in the front? So the questions are still flying about Kate, who looks very happy. She is glowing. She's definitely glowing. So whether she's glowing because she's enjoying life and food, or glowing because there's something going on, you tell me, girlfriends, what do you think? So there you have it. Best, worst, and possibly bumpish women at the Fashion Oscars of the year. Hi, HollywoodLife.comers. BFFs, I got to talk to you today about Sandra Bullock again. Sandra just announced, well, she didn't announce, one of her reps announced today that she's not going to appear at tomorrow night's Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. And I think that's such a shame. It would have been the most perfect opportunity for Sandra to have made her first public appearance since her low-life cheating husband made his, or let the cat out of the bag about his mistresses by having mistresses. So, Sandra, I understand. All of us here at HollywoodLife.com understand. And in fact, the entire world understands why you would feel nervous about going out into public and in a very, very public way by attending the awards ceremony. However, it really would have been the perfect opportunity. You're going to have to go out in public sometime. You can't hide away forever. And what better place than a completely family-friendly event? You've been a terrific stepmom. You could have maybe even taken your little stepdaughter, Sunny, who misses her mommy so much, and would have shown, like, Sandra, you with solidarity with your stepchildren. And it would have been like such a warm and friendly environment, being that it's a Kids' Choice Award. So you, like, even if you didn't feel like you could walk the red carpet, I'm not saying you should talk to the press yet. You shouldn't. You don't want to say a word. You want to keep your lips zipped. But you could have walked the red carpet and just looked fantastic, or not walk the red carpet and just come out on stage to accept your Best Actress for a Movie Award, because we know you would have won, and just stood there and got the most enormous applause of all time. You would have had the standing ovation of the last 2 centuries. It would have been fantastic. And it would have been so good for you to feel the love. It would have been something like a 10-minute long standing ovation for you. You wouldn't have had to say almost anything. but we know that you probably would have thought of something wonderful to say. The other thing that would have been really good about going to that event is that Michelle Obama is going to be there. And if there's anyone who can make any horrible, emotional boo-boo feel better, it is Michelle Obama and one of her infamous Michelle hugs. And I just know Michelle would have scooped you up, given you this big bear hug, and would have made you feel so much better. Michelle would have, I mean, you guys have got to talk anyway, because she's such an incredible woman, and you need to talk to somebody who's incredible and empathetic, like our First Lady. So Sandra, think about it. Reconsider. Listen to me, Bonnie Fuller, your BFF in my heart. And think about it, and maybe you'll change your mind and turn up and surprise us and surprise yourself at the Kids' Choice Awards on Saturday night. Bye-bye, Hollywood Lifers.